Hey there, curious minds. Welcome back to the Curious Route, where we explore the most fascinating corners of our incredible world. Today, I've got something special for you. We're diving into some mind-blowing facts that will completely change the way you see reality. Trust me, by the end of this video, you'll have at least 3 new conversation starters that will make you the most interesting person in any room. And stick around, because the last fact is absolutely insane. You won't believe what scientists recently discovered about time itself. Let's get started. First up, let's talk about something you interact with every single day but probably never thought twice about: your eyes. Did you know that your eyes can distinguish approximately 10 million different colors? That's already impressive, right? But here's where it gets crazy. Your brain is actually lying to you about what you see. Every time you move your eyes, there's a brief moment of blindness, but your brain fills in the gap so smoothly that you never notice. It's called saccadic masking, and it happens dozens of times every minute. Your brain is essentially creating a seamless movie of reality that does not actually exist in that exact form. Right now, as you're watching this video, you're not seeing the present moment, you're seeing the past. It takes approximately 80 milliseconds for visual information to travel from your eyes to your brain and be processed. So technically, you're always living in the past, even if it's just a fraction of a second behind actual reality. But that's just the beginning. Let's move on to something even more bizarre. You know how we always hear that humans only use 10% of their brains? Well, that's completely false. We use virtually all of our brain, just not all at once. But here's a real fact that sounds even more unbelievable. Your brain can generate approximately 23 watts of power while you're awake. That's enough to power a light bulb. Imagine that. Right now, as you're processing these words, understanding these concepts, and maybe even feeling a bit skeptical, your brain is literally glowing with electrical activity. But here's the truly mind-bending part. Your brain is made up of roughly 86 billion neurons, and each neuron can form thousands of connections with other neurons. The total number of possible neural connections in your brain exceeds the number of atoms in the known universe. You are literally carrying around the most complex structure we've ever discovered in the entire cosmos, and you're using it right now to understand this sentence. Now, let's shift gears and talk about something that'll make you question everything you thought you knew about the world. Bananas. Yes, you heard that right. Bananas are berries, but strawberries aren't. In botanical terms, a berry is a fruit produced from the ovary of a single flower with seeds embedded in the flesh. Bananas fit this definition perfectly. But strawberries? Those seeds on the outside disqualify them. The same goes for raspberries and blackberries. They're not actually berries either. You know what else is a berry? Watermelons, pumpkins, and avocados. Your entire understanding of fruit classification has probably just been turned upside down. But wait, there's more about bananas that'll blow your mind. The bananas we eat today are all genetically identical clones. Every single Cavendish banana is essentially the same banana, reproduced over and over, and they're all technically dying. There's a fungal disease called Panama disease that's wiping out banana plantations worldwide, and because they're all clones with no genetic diversity, they can't adapt or develop resistance. The bananas we know and love might not exist in 20 years. Speaking of food, let's talk about honey. Honey is the only food that never spoils. Archaeologists have found pots of honey in ancient Egyptian tombs that are over 3,000 years old and still perfectly edible. The reason is fascinating. Honey is incredibly low in moisture and highly acidic, creating an environment where bacteria and microorganisms simply can't survive. Bees are so efficient at removing water from the nectar they collect that honey typically contains less than 18% water. Add to that the hydrogen peroxide that bees produce naturally, and you've got nature's perfect preservative. But here's something even more incredible about bees. A single bee will produce only about 1/12 of a teaspoon of honey in her entire lifetime. That means the honey in a typical jar required the life's work of about 12 bees just to fill 1 teaspoon. When you spread honey on your toast, you're literally consuming the life's work of thousands of bees. Suddenly, that jar of honey seems a lot more precious, doesn't it? Now let's talk about something truly enormous: space. But not in the way you think. Everyone knows space is big, but let me give you some perspective that'll really drive it home. If you could fold a piece of paper 42 times, it would reach the moon. Sounds impossible, right? But it's mathematically true. Each fold doubles the thickness, and exponential growth gets crazy fast. The problem is, you physically can't fold a piece of paper more than about 7 or 8 times, no matter how big it is or how strong you are. The world record is 12 folds, achieved with a piece of paper the size of a football field. But if you could keep going, by 42 folds, you'd have a stack of paper reaching 239,000 miles, which is the distance to the moon. And if you could fold it 103 times, your stack would be larger than the observable universe. That's the power of exponential growth. And it's the same principle behind compound interest, viral spread of diseases, and why some technologies seem to explode in capability overnight. Here's another space fact that'll mess with your perception of reality. If you could drive your car straight up at highway speeds, you'd reach space in just 1 hour. The boundary of space, called the Kármán line, is only about 62 miles up. That's less than the distance of your daily commute for many people, yet it might as well be on another planet because of how difficult it is to actually get there. The problem isn't the distance. It's achieving the speed necessary to stay in orbit, which is about 17,500 miles per hour. That's why rockets need so much fuel and power. They're not just going up, they're going up and sideways incredibly fast. Let's bring things back down to Earth with something you might find in your own body. Your stomach produces a new layer of mucus every 2 weeks to protect itself from digesting itself. Your stomach acid is strong enough to dissolve metal, with a pH between 1 and 2. That's incredibly acidic. Without that protective mucus lining constantly being regenerated, your stomach would literally eat through itself. But here's the really weird part. Your stomach is constantly trying to digest you, and your body is in a perpetual battle to prevent that from happening. The cells in your stomach lining are some of the fastest regenerating cells in your body because they're constantly being damaged by acid. You grow an entirely new stomach lining every few days. In a very real sense, you have a brand new stomach right now compared to the one you had last month. Now, let's talk about something that connects to one of the most fundamental aspects of your existence: time. You might think time flows the same for everyone, but Einstein proved that wrong. Time actually moves slower for you when you're moving fast or when you're in a strong gravitational field. This isn't just theory. It's been proven countless times. GPS satellites have to account for time dilation because they're moving so fast and experiencing less gravity than objects on Earth's surface. If they didn't adjust for relativistic effects, your GPS would be off by miles within just a few days. But here's the really wild part. You age faster when you're standing up compared to when you're lying down. Your head is farther from Earth's center of gravity than your feet, so time moves slightly faster for your head than for your feet. The difference is tiny, about 90 nanoseconds over a 70-year lifetime, but it's real and measurable. Your head is literally older than your feet right now, and if you've ever been on an airplane, you've aged slightly faster than people on the ground. If that doesn't blow your mind, I don't know what will. Finally, let me leave you with perhaps the most profound fact of all. You are made of stardust. Every atom in your body heavier than hydrogen was forged in the heart of a dying star billions of years ago. The iron in your blood, the calcium in your bones, the carbon in your DNA, all of it came from stars that exploded in supernovas long before our sun even existed. Those atoms scattered across the universe, eventually coalescing into the solar system, the Earth, and ultimately, you. You are not just in the universe. You are the universe experiencing itself. Every breath you take contains atoms that were once part of stars, dinosaurs, ancient humans, and countless other forms of life throughout history. We are all connected through this cosmic recycling program that's been running for over 13 billion years. You are a temporary arrangement of ancient stardust that has somehow become conscious enough to contemplate its own existence. If that's not the most amazing fact in the universe, I don't know what is. So there you have it, folks. 10 incredible facts that hopefully changed your perspective at least a little bit. From the lies your brain tells you, to the imminent death of bananas, to the fact that you're literally made of exploded stars, reality is so much stranger and more wonderful than we usually give it credit for. Now, I want to hear from you. Which of these facts surprised you the most? Drop a comment below and let me know. And if you enjoyed this journey through the weird and wonderful, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss another mind-blowing episode from the Curious Root. Until next time, stay curious, keep questioning, and remember, the universe is far more amazing than we ever imagined. See you in the next one.